just talked about the gut health. I'd like to go into the next phase, which would be the liver and the lymph. Ultimately, again, that was one of the first things people want to do is start in, diving into the cleansing part. However, when it comes to success in our health and dealing with these parasites, we want to make sure everything is activated and built strong enough to handle any cleansing. So the activating the liver is really tapping into, I want to say, even the emotional side of things. This goes back to the mental portion where liver houses anger and frustration. So how do we, work with that? There's, definitely some remedies there that, if you're working with, the mental side of things, remembering and processing whatever you've been angry at, whoever you've been angry with over the years, or even at yourself, really kind of diving into mentally and emotionally, letting a lot of that go if you can, or working with a therapist to help you kind of work through some of that. Yes, there's some emotional clearing or cleansing that kind of go along with that too, but that actually will help take a load off of the liver so that it can activate and really work with the way it's supposed to. The liver also being where it cleanses, the oxygenates the blood. We want to make sure that there's some herbal support to help build and nourish and make sure it's healthy, so that what I want to say is, I guess, going in from the liver and the gut feeds into the lymphatic system, which the lymphatic system is your natural filtering system that flows through every organ, including the liver, and that is where it pulls out of the toxins, including the parasites. So parasites can get caught up into the lymph throughout the whole body. But to activate it, there are some exercises you could do, just walking, not being stagnant, getting out and moving will help shift and move some of the lymph fluid through your body. So if you're sitting too long in an office, or if you are, not feeling well, or you're just, maybe a couch potato, you want to make sure to get up and move around a little bit. There's a mini trampoline is really good to jump on for at least 5 minutes if you have one, if you can, or just that impact. You can, if you don't have a mini trampoline, going out somewhere and just jumping up and down with a good hard impact. It kind of jolts the body, yes, but it breaks loose the congestion that's in the lymphatic system and gets things flowing. Then there's the dry brushing, that you can actually use a dry brush or even with your hand and really work the lymph, just the soft touches. There's lymph that's right beneath the surface of the skin, as well as deeper lymph. So just as for you and yourself, you can do some motions and kind of work and activate your lymph system, and get things flowing that way. There's also therapists who can do lymphatic drainage, which can go in the deeper lymph, go a little harder, a little deeper into the areas that are concentrated with the lymph nodes and lymph tissue, but really forcing the fluids through. This is going to help not only cleanse, it is kind of a cleansing as well, but it's activating that tissue so that the fluids can start flowing and eliminating properly. The lymph fluids are forced through your system, but they actually then will, it's a smart system where it divides it and kind of sends things through either your kidneys or your digestive tract, depending on what it is, but it's forcing the fluids out through your other elimination channels. So it's important to have this activated and working properly. Another way to activate it is drinking enough water. Along with your gut, activating it, water is essential. we have, there's a lot of things I talk about with my clients, and that was one of the first foundational pieces. 80% of our cells, 80% of our cells are made up of water. And I want to say that was like the number one chronic condition is dehydration. So I do spend a lot of time talking to my clients on even the basics of water and the importance of it. For one, you should, as a naturopath, the rule of thumb is half your body weight in ounces of water is needed by the body every day in order to function correctly. So this means that, up to 100 ounces. So kind of monitoring that, how much water are you actually getting? If you drink coffee or coffee or caffeine or carbonation actually eliminate water. So if you are a coffee drinker, which most of my clients are, every cup of coffee eliminates 5 cups of water the same size as your coffee. So taking that into consideration, having to do a little bit of math, are you getting enough water to sustain all of your cells? This is important because that water is what's used to help your blood stay flowing smoothly and separately. If it doesn't have enough water, your blood gets sticky and starts coagulating and getting clotty. And this, with not enough water, with the blood getting sticky, that affects not only the blood, but it affects the lymph, affects the liver. As the blood goes through the liver to get filtered out and oxygenized, if it's too sticky and it goes in as clumps rather than individual cells, then the liver really gets bogged down and has a hard time doing its functionality as well. So the water is essential. The amount of water, but also are your cells actually taking in the water? When I talk to my clients again, there's 2 essential minerals that are needed for water absorption, and that is sodium and potassium. They are the 2 minerals that act as your water pump in the body. So activating all of your systems, you really need to make sure that you have the right minerals flowing in your body in the right ratio. So most doctors have, that's one of the first things that they cut out of people's diets is salt, because it does a lot of damage in the body. And I say that because most table salt is a hard rock salt, and it is most condiments, most food that we eat contain a lot of this rock salt. So accumulating that in the body, it's going to pull calcium out of solution. It's going to create a hardship in the body versus having the sea salt. Sea salt, the living sea salt, is more beneficial, and every cell, every tissue of your body needs sodium. So not to be afraid of it, but being wise about it, making sure that you're using sea salt, but then also adding in potassium. You need a good balance in order for the cells to monitor and maintain that water balance. There is a cell salt, a homeopathic cell, CELL salt, that actually can help with water balance, and it's called NatMur. It's the number 9 salt. But it is one that actually can help retrain your cells to take in the water where it needs it, or flush it out if it's holding on to too much. When there's an imbalance, your cells can actually absorb in like a sponge and overabsorb and hold on to the water rather than releasing it, where it leads to swelling or edema. So it's very important when trying to get healthy, trying to work with your systems and activate them, is to make sure that the water is in balance and that you're getting enough of it. So part of that foundational health, the A and the B, is working with the water. A couple more points. As some I talk to, they will guzzle down a gallon of water in one setting, or or they forgot to drink it, so they're drinking a couple of cupfuls all in one sitting, and that's also a mistake. It's a mistake because your kidneys can only handle 3 to 4 ounces of water at a time. So as you're drinking water, trying to get enough water, if you guzzle it, you're literally flooding your kidneys and making yourself having to urinate more often, because your kidneys are like overloaded. They're going to push it all out through your bladder and out the exit. With that flood of water, then you're stripping your minerals, and that's something that we're trying to keep in balance, like I said. So for those of you who guzzle the water, might want to rethink that as well. We want to make sure we get enough water, but we want to sip it and drink it throughout the day, 3 to 4 ounces at a time, to activate all of your systems and keep them healthy and flowing, keeping the blood flowing, keeping your lymph fluids flowing, and your gut flowing the way they should. So water, very important for all of those systems.